July 29, 9:25 p.m. Today was a good day, as the great Ice Cube once rapped. Today was a good day. First of all, when it comes to the game, I did one of the things I said I was going to do yesterday. I consolidated all of the animators, all the animations for the player and all of the enemies, well, every character in the game, basically. So I had separate head animations and separate body animations because I didn't realize that in Unity you can do them all in one animator. So I cut those in half thanks to that, and it seemed to give me a good 15 to 20 FPS boost, so that's pretty nice. I had to add a fake vignette effect. Let me show a little bit of this. I had to add a fake vignette effect because when you run out of energy when you miss an attack, I use a post-processing effect for that. And I added this ultra-low graphics mode that turns off the post-processing. So to deal with that, to deal with the fact that you don't have the vignette anymore, I had to make a fake sprite version of it specifically for the ultra-low mode. Those poor bastards. Ancient computers. I feel you. Doesn't look great, but I mean, you can barely even see. I mean, you can kind of see it, right? Yeah, it doesn't look great, but what can you do? That's what you get. That's what you get when you got an old computer. I'm sorry, bro. I then also... What did I do here? Oh yes, the last thing I did was I changed... So I mentioned in a previous video that I wanted to change the upgrades and the items that you choose between to unlock as you progress through the game. I felt like they currently weren't effective enough, and I specifically, not only that I wanted to make them more effective, but also that I wanted it to be a difficult decision, that you have to choose between two really powerful, exciting things to use. So I was inspired this morning when I woke up. Some ideas related to that popped into my head, so I just decided to look into that today as well. So so the main thing I did here is it's already the case that the passive upgrade you can unlock in the demo reduces your dash and your dodge cooldown, your attack and your dodge cooldown. So this is now the new version of it. Basically, I just made it way more powerful. Before, it would reduce your dodge cooldown from 1 second to 0.8 seconds, and now it's from 1 second to 0.45 seconds. So you can dash and dodge. Oh, cool. That works better. So you can dodge really frequently now, which will be especially useful as you progress through the game and the rooms become larger, but even now it makes for much more versatile movement. And also it means that you can like dodge, attack, miss, dodge again, you know, just gives you way more freedom of movement. So it's quite powerful now, and pretty happy with it. Yeah. The other thing I did, no, that's it. That's all I did. So I made that much more powerful, and like I said, that's also going to be especially useful as you progress through the game. So that's a nice upgrade. It also makes your regular attack cooldown, like I showed you, that cooldown is faster as well. So now, even if you choose to use an item instead of dodging, you're much more likely to survive if you have that upgrade. The other one is the stun bomb, which currently stuns a bunch of enemies in an area of effect, and that's a replacement for your kunai, which directly kills a guy, right? So the problem I had with that is it just feels like the gameplay is so aggressive in the game, and you're constantly trying to kill guys. So something like the stun bomb feels a little awkward and unfun to use compared to the kunai, just because it doesn't kill anyone. It sort of just slows the gameplay down, and it's not obvious in any particular situation why you would use it, or like where you would feel really incentivized or compelled to use it. So I didn't get around to it today, but tomorrow I'm going to look into upgrading that as well. And what I was thinking is I'm going to make it so that one of two things. I was thinking either the main, it'll now, because right now it targets an area that's in between a bunch of enemies to try to stun as many of them as possible. Instead, I'll make it like the kunai, where it targets one specific enemy, and it'll also kill him just like the kunai does, and then stuns anyone else nearby. The other option is to make it even more powerful and make it so that it kills anyone close enough in a small radius and then stuns everyone else in a larger radius. Of course, that naturally begs the question of, if you unlock this item, why would you ever use the kunai anymore? Because it's obviously just a more powerful version of that now. And I'm going to balance that out by making it take up more inventory space. So you have to choose between having more kunai or a smaller number of the stun bomb instead. And that'll be the choice that you make. The AoE kill one version that I have in mind is probably too powerful. I'll probably just go for the one kill version. Also because I have a different idea for like a multi-kill item that you can unlock later. But yeah, so I'm gonna update that, and once I finish all these current updates for the optimization as well as for the upgrades, I'll be releasing that as an update to the demo as well. Not just gonna sit on it. And yeah, so that's all I got done directly on the game today, and I'm going to look into more of the optimization stuff tomorrow to see if there's a couple other possible CPU bottlenecks I can find, maybe with something going on with the physics. Yeah, and seeing whether or not I can possibly, it seems like the enemies, something with the logic of the enemies is the remaining thing that takes up a lot of performance. So I'm gonna see also if it's possible to do something like disable them while they're off screen, since they don't really need to do anything other than just change positions as they patrol, and everything else could possibly be disabled. So that might be a way of significantly optimizing things, possibly. We'll see. And then I need to figure out still the issue, so, well, whatever. I'll talk about that maybe tomorrow, what the next thing after that is. So one thing at a time. So tomorrow, upgrade the stun bomb, look into more optimizations. All right. And then when it comes to my promotional, every time I think of the word publicity, publication, promotional. My promotional work, my marketing work, my short form videos that I've been talking a lot and thinking about on these daily diary entries, I have been thoroughly inspired, okay? It hit me today. I have come back to my original vision for what I was thinking. I was talking about this yesterday too, actually, but the whole idea behind the Solidio branding was to be as an alter ego to my real self, and almost like a completely separate character, and wanting to create a distinction between myself as a real person and the work that I'm doing here. So I was looking at all these little scripts that I had written yesterday for these new short form ideas, and yeah, I don't know how it occurred to me, but somehow just like that idea of the alter ego popped into my head, because these are all of these scripts are they're a mixture of explaining what it is that I'm doing, mixed together with my own philosophy of how I make my games and how I think about things in general. And so this idea occurred to me where I was like, why don't I really do this as if I'm a completely separate person? So for example, one of the first scripts I wrote is about how each of the games I've made so far are reflections of things that have happened in my own life. So then I thought, well, I can rewrite that and instead be like, each of these games are inspired by, the experiences of someone, of this man. And this game was inspired by this man's obsession with doing this or doing that. Like basically treating the real me as a separate person, and Solidio is this artist who uses that as the foundation for making the project. Um, it's probably kind of pretentious, but I don't give a shit. 'Cause I think it's sick. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun for me. It's like perfect, man. It's exactly what I was originally envisioning. And I feel like I can have a lot of fun with it, and it allows me to put on just a completely different persona and to present my ideas in a cool way. And yeah, I don't know, man. I love the idea. It might be a little cheesy, might be a little pretentious, whatever, but I feel like this split into the real me and then this character that I can play just for the sake of the art of it all, it fits perfectly, man. And it's what my original vision was, and now I've just seen how I can make this happen like this. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's great. I really like this, and I'm gonna move forward with this. So I'm gonna take one more look over at my scripts tomorrow, because I was sitting out there outside at the park for like 30 minutes thinking about this before it suddenly occurred to me. So I was kind of right at the edge. I had to go to the grocery store before it closed. I needed to replace my groceries and cook something now. So I didn't get to take enough time to edit them into this new format with this new perspective. So I'm going to look over them one more time tomorrow and edit them up and hopefully make the first one tomorrow. Maybe just a rough draft of the first one, give it a couple of days. I really want to nail what my new style is going to be. But yeah, I've really got it in mind, and I'm confident about this, and I think this is going to be awesome. So I'm really excited about this. Otherwise, I don't know. I had a great day. I've noticed recently that I'm trying to use. I got a little too comfortable with using ChatGPT, I think, for asking about things. So I'm trying to cut this out. However, well, actually, you know what? This is irrelevant. Forget about ChatGPT. I was just going to say that I've recently, and especially today, noticed an improvement in my experiences with intrusive thoughts. Because I noticed when I was... All right. This is now the third time I'm having to make this video, dude. So in the middle of recording that last video, bro, I was talking for like 10 minutes, okay? I was really in the zone, and I was letting my mind go, and I turned the camera around at the end to discover that it had stopped recording halfway through. Turns out my stupid storage space ran out again. So I guess because I keep making these videos every day and they're so long, even when I delete them, I guess your iPhone preserves a bunch of the most recently deleted stuff. So it builds up fast, and fuck, man, it's so annoying, because this happened to me once the first time, and then I was confused because when I turned the phone around, the screen was just off, like as if it just decided to shut off in the middle of me recording. So I didn't know what had happened the first time it stopped recording. So then I went and made a second one, and when I finished making that one for 10 minutes or so, I turned it around, it also stopped, but this time it told me, oh, it's because your storage is full. Anyway, sorry about that. Where was I? This is gonna be so much worse now, because I'm not gonna be able to repeat myself in as eloquent a way as I did the first time around. So I'm gonna try to summarize also, because I'm fucking tired now. It's been like 20 minutes of repeating myself. Okay. I was talking about how one thing that I struggled with was intrusive thoughts. For the past few years, I think it started around the time when I first moved to Montreal. Damn, these planes almost look like they collided. When I first moved to Montreal, not long after arriving here, I think I started to experience a lot of intrusive thoughts, just random, really dark thoughts that would pop into my head throughout the day. Not that I was ever at any serious risk of like hurting myself or anything like that, but just difficult to deal with. Just very, the best way I would describe it is feeling as though you're losing your mind, or as if you're on the brink of becoming depressed, maybe. I don't know. Very unhealthy, though. Very, very unfun. In fact, I wonder now if really those kinds of thoughts are directly related to me indulging in a lot of my bad vices that I use to, that I use as a coping mechanism, that I use to numb myself. So anyway, So I was thinking that now, as I'm locking in and getting into a healthy routine and healthy lifestyle and all that, that it brings up a lot of those dark thoughts back to the surface, and you have to kind of work through them before you get through it all. You know, kind of like with a drug addiction, right? You get addicted to a drug and then you stop. There's the first week, the first couple weeks, whatever. There's the withdrawal period where it's really, really brutal and you have to get through to the other side to be able to really feel good again. So anyway, the point is, today was the first day in a while where I didn't really have any such intrusive thoughts. I felt really great. I feel like I'm doing a lot better. This might be the best I've felt in a very long time. So, yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think this is among one of my best days so far. So, in quite a long time. So I'm excited for the future and happy to see what it holds. I'm doing well. The other thing that I went on to talk about, which is really the crux of it, was I was thinking today about, do any of my most respected artists, the artists that I think are the greatest, did any of them ever really do anything or even concern themselves with regards to promotion and marketing themselves? And it seems to me like the answer is definitely no. That they just did what they thought they were supposed to do and what they wanted to do, and either things worked out at some point or it didn't. And I was also thinking about this because recently, today actually, I was looking at my wish list counts and they hadn't been doing so well recently. The past week, I'm only getting like 5 or 10 a day, whereas for almost all the weeks up until now, after the demo released, I was getting, on the bad day, it was like 30, 35, usually even 50, 70, 100 plus. So seeing it down to like 5 or 10 now, which is almost like pre-demo levels, I was kind of like, what the hell's going on here? And even weirder is that the visits to my store page haven't really changed. So it's just the conversion to wish lists that's gone down a lot. So I don't really know what's going on there. But either way, I noticed how this affected me a little bit emotionally and mentally. And I guess thinking about this, and as I was thinking about the new style of videos that I want to do and this whole new persona idea that I want to do, yeah, it made me think about how I'm approaching things here. That this is another element, I think, of how I've lost sight of why I'm doing what I'm doing and what it is that I'm doing here. And it's the question of, am I doing this as a real, genuine, authentic, artistic project, in which case it is something that I'm doing ultimately for myself, ultimately just, maybe for myself isn't the best way of putting it, but I'm just doing what I think I'm supposed to do, regardless of what the results might be? Or am I trying to be, in the proper sense, a business, where I'm trying to focus on how am I going to make money? How am I going to make myself more popular? How am I going to whatever? And I think the business side of it is driven entirely by my ego, the exact thing I was talking about that I need to restrain yesterday. And yeah, the whole thing I think is driven by my ego, and that the more real, more properly authentic part of myself is driven really just by making exactly what I want to make and express what I want to express. And not what I think is expected by my players or by anyone. Not to say that I don't care at all about feedback. I don't mean to talk down to anyone in my Discord or anyone else who's been enthusiastic about it and giving me feedback, all that. I appreciate it, but I do artistically, like I especially like quality of life, technical feedback, things like that. But artistically, I do very much want to make what is in me and what I feel I'm supposed to make and just ignore the rest of the world. And I feel like that's the best way of going about things. And I think that my new idea for publicizing things or promoting myself through this new persona and this new style of videos I want to do is a means by which I can also do that even in my videos, even in everything that I make, how I can just do exactly what I want to do and stop thinking about the numbers, the subscribers, the followers, the wish lists, the whatever, and just do what I love, do what I think makes the most sense, have faith in my own, not just my own tastes, but in the belief that I was in fact born to do this and I'm doing something of significance, and just let go of everything else and deal with it one day at a time as it comes. And that's it. So I'm going to do my best from now on to no longer look at numbers at all. I think I've already been doing that pretty well on social media, actually. I've pretty much completely stopped looking at that. Like I mentioned yesterday, when I post these videos, I lose subscribers every day. So I pretty much stopped giving a shit there. So that's step one done there. But I think I'm going to stop also with like setting targets for trying to get wish lists and all this kind of stuff. I'll do the basic stuff to promote myself. I'll still, whatever, reach out to some influencers and so on. But I think even when it comes to the production of my videos, I'm going to stop thinking about what will hook people, what will make me more successful, how do I sell the game more? Because even when I think about when I first started making these videos, it all stemmed from exactly that, from this business mindset. How do I make money? How do I make this work and all that? And I think really the best parts of myself and the best work that I can do will come from me really, truly not caring and having faith in what I'm doing and just sticking with it and being consistent. I think I have a tendency to overreact based on small bits of data and maybe being too impatient in seeing things pay off, and that I need to remind myself to rein in that egotistical aspect of myself and instead let it be what it is. Let the universe decide and let God decide how things will play out, and just do what I know I'm supposed to do. So yeah, this whole new persona idea and everything about my current mentality and how good I'm feeling and how healthy I'm feeling, I have that faith. So I'm going to try to take on this new mentality and really try to push away the outside pressures to conform to algorithms, to certain markers of success, to whatever. Completely try to kill my ego. And the other thing I wanted to say also, and I'm going to check the camera right now, all right, to make sure that it didn't cut me off. Thank God. There's no way I would do this a third time. The last thing I was going to say was oh yes, that ironically, I think that this new persona thing, however much it might maybe come off pretentious or whatever, I don't care. Again, I love it. I think it's perfect. But I think ironically, that actually will allow me to distance myself egotistically from my work. Because in my mind, by creating this distinction between this kind of abstract character, this like artistic side that's, I guess, a part of me, but still also totally separated now from my real self, I feel like I can offload all of the desire for success or popularity or anything like that onto that character, and distance myself, my real self, from that, if that makes sense. It makes sense to me, but I don't know if I'm making sense of describing it. But yeah, I guess like what I'm trying to say is it gives me a means by which I can confidently indulge in all my deepest thoughts that I want to express artistically without having to think about myself in that context. You know what I mean? Like, it's this character doing it instead. It's not me. And that helps me to lose any self-consciousness about it. And it helps me, I think, to offload the attempt to get like fame out of it, to get to feed my ego because of it. So yeah, I don't know if that still makes sense to you, but I think internally for me this makes perfect sense. I think it'll help me a lot with that. I don't know if it made it into the first part of the video that I also said I think it's kind of funny now, or what's kind of weird here is how I'm making these daily diaries still, though, as my actual self. Kind of contradicts the whole artistic project, but whatever. Just to quickly summarize in case it didn't make it into the first part of the video, I think it'll be interesting to leave everything up and document this entire experience of me figuring this all out and working up to the point of splitting off into this into these like two separate characters now at this point, and how this whole artistic project evolved in the long run. So yeah, that was it. I feel like there was one thing I forgot to mention from my original take, but whatever. I think that's good enough. I think you get the picture here. And I'm super excited and hopeful for the future. And I think I have faith now. Especially now I find that as I'm growing into this healthier mindset, I have more faith in what I'm doing. It's like I've renewed the original faith that I always had there. And I think especially for that reason, I think I can just completely jump into my work now and not be so stressed out and concerned about the business side of things and just do my thing and let things happen as they happen. So yeah, I really feel like I forgot one thing, but that'll do it for tonight. All right.